the battery on my camera is dying. So when it dies, and that's where we end this episode of Rainbows and Unicorns. Cool. All right. Hi, do you want to be in this with me? You can be in this with me, but you got to turn around, face the camera, and sit down like a pretty girl. Can you do that? Your breath is kicking, dude. All right. We can't do that. Cool. Lay down. Sit. Now you sass me. Go lay down. Go to place. Okay. All right, what's up, guys? This is Rainbows and Unicorns, the show where I talk about life because it's not all rainbows and unicorns out there. My name is Jessie Stroham. Nice little appearance by Roxanne. And it's been a while, so I'm going to give you a life update, and then I'm going to work my hardest to be more consistent, and you're going to see why I say work my hardest in a short minute. I'm diving into all things from when I broke my spinal fusion last year, to surgery, to post-op, to the actual recovery period, CrossFit, buying into a wellness facility, traveling for work, and staying on top of everything else I'm doing while doing all of these crazy things. So you definitely want to sit back, relax. I'm going until this camera dies. It says that we have some time. I don't know how much time we really have, but we're going to give it all we got. So I'm going to dive right into it. You guys know last year I broke my spinal fusion in half, and I had to have a spinal fusion revision surgery. And I did something that most people wouldn't, and I actually prepared for surgery because I knew I had so much going on after. Life is so stacked, and I just had this really bad thing about not being able to say no to certain opportunities, and it's because a lot of them are cool. Like post-op, I gave a keynote to the Ticket to Work program. I was on set for 4 days for a pilot of a series that potentially will hopefully get picked up. It's called Shop Girls. Really cool series. I don't know when it's coming out, but it was a lot of fun filming that pilot. Then I followed that up with a weekend with Nikki Walsh when we first started creating our content for Wheel With Me and DapFit. Before the merge was actually final, we got some photos done. Built a course or a challenge that we're going to be dropping to you guys soon, which is going to be super, super cool. And you could do it disabled or not. 10 out of 10 recommend this challenge. It's for everybody. But it will definitely help you kind of excel. And so I knew I had all these things after surgery, so I had to prepare. And I mean, I was discharged within 3 days. I moved on, and I think that it's so important, and I don't give myself enough credit for the preparation I put in for something that was so intense and really intense. I mean, the hardware, just looking at it, I look at that thing probably once a month now. It used to be like once a day, and then it went to once a week. Now about once a month I look at my hardware, and I'm just blown away that there was so much metal in my body, and they removed it and put thicker versions of this metal that's already so thick. And I just bounced back, just like, whatever, here we go. But I didn't fully bounce back. The biggest issue I had came about probably 4 or 5 months post-op. I started actually working out again, and I kept getting sharp pains on the outside of my arm. And it turned out my muscles and underneath of my shoulder blades hadn't re-engaged properly. So my muscles in my back just weren't engaging or firing. And so I was overcompensating with my arms, and I had to go away from weights for a solid probably 2 months. And it was so hard. I went to a dark place, and around the same time, I thought it would be a good idea to buy into the wellness facility, which you guys can see. I'm recording in a different place. We're closed today for Mother's Day. This recording's on Mother's Day, and it's really cool that I co-own this place that I'm about to go. I'm going to go cold plunge after this. We have this vibrating plate called the Vibex, which we'll dive into in a little bit. I'm not ready to dive into that just yet. So I kind of stopped working out, and then I decided to do the CrossFit Open. Hadn't trained CrossFit since surgery. So I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just throwing my body into this extremely intense open workout. And I honestly did a lot better than I expected. And I qualified for the semis, and we just competed in semis this week. And again, did a lot better than I expected. Like, I had a 75-pound overhead press. My goal for the year is an 85-pound overhead press, and I hit 75 during my semis workout. And I think it's really cool because I hadn't lifted over 35 pounds since surgery. And it really kind of gave me this whole mindset perspective shift of, where am I leaving things on the table? Because if I could overhead press 1 rep, that's probably my 1 rep max. I got 95 pounds to about shoulder. So 75 is probably my 1 rep max. But I'm like, if I have been only pressing 35 pounds, because I'm like, that's all I have, but I can hit 75, what else am I leaving on the table? Where am I limiting myself? Where are my limiting beliefs, limiting what I'm capable of? And it really, I've been questioning everything since then. And it's been 2 days now. And I'm just like, holy crap, where am I leaving things on the table? And it started with this dang podcast. I have so much to say, and I've built these platforms to say it on, and I have not been utilizing them. And so now I have to hold myself accountable to that. I talk about how disciplined I am. I am disciplined in other areas of my life. But when it comes to my personal brand, it's not. And I realize I'm spread very thin. I have to start saying no to things. I can't say yes. I have to start saying no to the trips. Have to start saying no to whatever else pops up. I have to stay here. I have to focus on this business, focus on my coaching business, and really take my life to where I want it. So I've been working on my book. You guys knew that I've been working on my book for a couple of years. I had an editor publisher who was writing the book for me, and I was just telling her everything. And a really good friend of mine gave me a call, and he was also getting his book written by her. And he's like, hey man, like, I'm gonna send you my manuscript. Everyone else pulled out. Just listen to what I have to say. And it turned out like everything she had told us was a farce, and it wasn't real. And she had been lying and manipulating and using our names to get other people to commit, because we were all kind of intertwined in the same organization. And so we had been working on this thing. She said she had a manuscript. I never got it. So 2 years of working on this book turned into nothing. So then I was working on a Tough Mudder article for New Mobility magazine with Catherine, and she's an editor for New Mobility, does a lot of stories for them. And we had been talking. We started working on a resource book for Wheel With Me Foundation together, which is going to be available later this year. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. It's essentially like a chicken soup for the soul, but with tactical tips to how to live life for wheelchair users. Super, super cool. I mean, honestly, cool for anyone to read, because it could change your whole perspective of disability. I know that realistically, most people don't care about the wheelchair content that are non-disabled, and that's okay. But like, it's good to kind of expose yourself to it so you have a better understanding. I'm gonna have to come back to this bit. I have to hurry up and get back to the business before this camera dies, because I'm so excited about that. There's so many moving pieces here that it's just really cool. I'm gonna probably have to do another episode on that. Yeah, probably gonna have to happen. But yeah, so Catherine, we were working on this resource book for Wheel With Me Foundation, and I was like, yo, do you want to write my book together? Like, would you edit it? And so I brain dumped for 6 months straight. There's story after story from my childhood to where I am now, things that impacted me. And it was really cool because I loosely gave my body away before I was injured. I was, you know how men like will sleep with anything, they just love sex? That was me. I was definitely like male mentality when it came to sex and relationships, and the way I didn't value them. So I can't even say I valued them, because I didn't. But when I started writing my book and just brain dumping all of these stories and thoughts, I realized how much I hadn't addressed that version of myself. And I kept that version of myself locked deep down, because I am ashamed of who I was. I wasn't a good person. I used people. I was an ugly human being. Very ugly human being. And to face that person that you buried so deep and pushed deep and trying to forget about, It was emotional. It was so emotional, but it gave me such a deeper understanding of why I'm where I'm at now, and it gave me this honest lens and perspective to look at on how I want to be as a partner, to allow me to attract that potential partner for myself. And I think that that's so important, that we deep dive into those things we don't want to face within ourselves, to allow ourselves to be able to grow and to become who we are. And so writing the book really allowed me to get this deep dive into all of my demons. And when I face these demons, there's nothing that could stop me. Oh no, my phone probably picked none of that up. Oh, you guys, I literally sat on the couch and started rolling. My mic is right here. Fuck. It's okay. We're gonna keep on rolling. Hopefully I can cut from the main camera. This is my first time. Hi, my name is Jessie Stroham. Let's talk about freedom, longevity, and wellness. If Lake Norman, it is a storefront. We have cold plunge, infrared sauna, red light therapy, hyperbaric chamber, compression sleeves, Vibex, pulse PEMF. So we have all of these incredible modalities to allow you to recover to your fullest and best. My favorite two are Vibex and the cold plunge. I love cold plunging. You guys know that, those of you that have followed me for a while, I started doing cold water therapy in 2017 or 2018 after the end of World's Toughest Mudder 2017 and me completely giving up because I got cold and feeling so extremely disappointed in me. There's no worse feeling than being disappointed in you and your performance. Like, it's one thing when other people are disappointed in you, but when you're disappointed in you and you're just like, oh, I'm really disappointed in me. I knew that something had to change and I couldn't let the cold water take me out again. And so I started doing cold showers, and then I found ice baths, and then this was actually my first time getting into a cold plunge when I came into Freedom in early January. So Freedom, Longevity, and Wellness, Lake Norman, opened in January of this year on the 2nd, and I was brought in the beginning of February as a partner, and together with the team, we just have really honestly all grown so much, which is so cool. It's really cool to get to grow with a group of people that want to grow, but then the people that come into this facility, watching people break down their barriers and overcome their fears and face that demon within themselves is so powerful and so impactful. And I feel like God has me in this place to learn from other people and their experience, because I'm so just tunnel vision to myself. Like, it's not that I don't care about other people, but I'm very focused on me and my clients. And so when it comes to the outside world, I try to be kind, but I also don't go too far out of my way to be kind. And here it forces me into that, and I'm learning so much about the way I want to interact with other human beings. And I don't think we think about that often enough, of how we want to show up and how we want to interact with others. So I think that that's really important to kind of acknowledge and understand. The next thing I love about here is the Vibex. So about a week, 2 weeks after I started, this platform got brought in by these kids. They were trying to sell it to us, and the guys were standing on it, and honestly, I thought they were all full of crap. So like, yeah, I get off of it, I feel so much better, I can touch my toes and more limber, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're full of crap. I'm like, yo, can I sit on that thing? And they're like, well, I don't see why not. So I sit on it. I'm looking at it because it's right over there. I sit on it, and man, my legs, like, they just started feeling like they could work. It was wild. It was the wildest sensation. So I get in my leg braces, and they work. I'm walking better than I ever had in my leg braces and moving faster. My gait's more natural. Just one time sitting on this vibrating plate. It's very interesting, and so they explain it. This was created by a chiropractor during the pandemic to improve athletic performance. His daughters both run track. He just wanted them to be a little faster on the track field. So he created this to improve it, and him and his buddies were able to PR, blow through old PRs, and do all these things on it. It's very interesting. So most vibrating plates using vertical vibration patterns. So it's just a vertical vibration pattern that goes up and down. The Vibex platform uses a circular vibration pattern, so it's actually in a spherical motion, so shaking your cerebellum, resetting your central nervous system, allowing your nerves to communicate more properly. So I've been using this for about 3 months now, 4 months. I've regained full sensation of hot and cold in my legs. I get in the cold plunge and I feel it immediately. I broke my foot, and I guess I should probably explain the boot since we're on camera. I'll come back to that too. But I broke my foot and I felt it. I didn't believe it, but I felt it, and felt the pain, and I felt the way it hurt. And so I'm very excited to see where that takes me. And then I was also introduced to this other thing called Neuro20. I'm probably going to introduce that separate on my platform. I'm just going to do a video on the Vibex and Neuro20. And so we'll introduce that then. But yeah, very excited. So life has been honestly insane. I also picked up a job with WellSpect. I have been their spinal cord injury specialist, so I've been fortunate enough to travel the country and visit all these spinal cord injury rehabs, which y'all, there are some cool rehabs out there doing some really cool things, which I'll dive into at a later time as well. I'll probably just do like a standalone episode on the YouTube about that, or on it will be Wheel With Me Foundation thing. But yeah, it definitely, these rehabs are dope. So I'm sharing the good word of bowel bladder management, improved bowel bladder management. Again, this is going to be a Wheel With Me Foundation episode. And I'm honestly so stoked on it. So I've been working in this facility, traveling nonstop, and just trying to just be the change I want to see in the world. It's really, I've wanted to leave the world a better place, and now I'm shifting my mindset to leave people in a better place. And I just want to leave people better than I found them. Like, I never took the whole leave everything better than you found it as literal. That's funny because I'm literal Jessie. But I have never taken the leave people better than you found them into consideration. Like, I do be the change I want to see. I personally, the way I live my life, I love the way I live my life. I don't struggle with a lot of health issues. I don't struggle that bad mentally most of the time. And my mental health has honestly just been improving. And I'm able to deal with life in such a different manner. And so I just want other people to be able to deal with life in that same manner and have that same strength and resilience when they're going out and getting after it in the world. Because you don't have to be a victim of the struggle. Like, everybody struggles. Your struggle is no harder than someone else's because it's all relative to perspective. And I think the sooner that we stop trying to force people to understand our struggle and just let them be as they are and live in their struggle and experience life the way they're experiencing it, and we all just continue on even though we're struggling, the world would be a much better place. Being a victim and doing nothing but complaining about how hard life isn't going to get you to where you want to be. That's where I'm leaving this today. If you heard something of value, please share this with a friend. I'm not doing ads. I refuse. And I'm also not consistent enough to do ads, honestly. This is not an ad, but I will drop a link down below. I am an affiliate now. I started using hostage tape, the mouth tape over your mouth when you sleep, and the little nose strip. Y'all, I've been using it for a week and I have not slept so good since being paralyzed. Again, this is like, I am a paid affiliate, like I have an affiliate link. I just signed up because I'm so obsessed with the product. I'm like, everyone needs to tape their mouth. And if you haven't read the book Breathe, I think it's by James Clear. I want to say it's yellow. It's got like some colorful design on the front. Read that book because it explains the science behind mouth breathing and how actually detrimental it is to your overall health. So that's it. The link will be down below. Yeah, I might just share like things I'm affiliated with each episode because I have so many affiliates of great products that I love and I truly use. Like, my Amazon store is just filled with books I've read that I love and products I use regularly, from cleaning supplies all the way to like this mic in my hand. So there's that. But y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening, and again, comment, share. Let me know what you want to hear. What do you want to hear me talk about more of? I'm gonna work to share my experience more. I have this life. Might as well share it, right? I really hope that my mic, like my phone mic, picked up the first half of that, but all right. Later. I'm just dripping. Call me Drips. Jessie Drips.